In this episode, we ride along a beautiful blue lake. We ride along a scary high cliff. We lose a couple of riders throughout the day, and we tackle a whole bunch of the Indian Tata trucks. This is the final episode of this series, folks. This series was made possible by the good people at roaminghorizons.com.au. Be sure to check them out for your next Himalayan motorcycle adventure. Well, good morning. We've woken up at the lake and we're hitting the road at about 8 a.m. this morning. We've got another huge day, even bigger than yesterday apparently. But the sun is shining harsh, man. Check this out. There's the lake right there. Look at that view. Holy moly. You can see here, there's just so many places to stay up here. And this was the second campsite. There was one further back as well. The UV's high today, plenty of sunscreen for us, plenty of water, and a really big day to our next destination. So when we checked out of our cabins, we came out to load up our bikes, and Sarchu was hard at work, making sure the chains were tensioned, they were cleaned and oiled up and ready for the day ahead. Now, as you saw on the previous episode, we arrived here just on dark, so we weren't able to enjoy the lake. So the first thing we're going to do this morning is get up to a height where we can have a really nice look at this lake and maybe even dip our toes in. And will you look at that? It's the little hatchback with the pink topping that we saw in the previous episode getting stuck in a lake. It's still running. So we've been going for only 10-15 minutes, but we're still near the lake. But look at those colours. It's absolutely exceptional. Just 5 minutes up the road, we hit the dirt again and headed right down to the very edge of Pangong Lake. A little bit of challenging sand just before we get there. We all know that I hate sand, but look at that blue lake. Absolutely insane.
So this one is first, then there will be second, third and fourth. Till fourth, that is Indian territory. The fifth one is called no man's land. It's neither owned by China nor India. But both the parties can patrol that area using their boats without guns as per that Shimla Treaty. But after that, Chinese outpost is there. So they had created temporary post, and then they were slowly inch by inch they are moving forward,
Yeah.
Wow.
taking the fifth finger.
Salami.
Greedy, greedy.
Yes. Greedy people, yes.
Yeah.
So Indian Army, and they had a big clash in 2019, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, and it was some 20-1 ratio. They were fully prepared, ready, and with some equipments made out of rods, wires, such things. But our army men, a single battalion, pushed them back.
Living in Australia, it's hard to even fathom the idea of having to share your borders with your enemies and all of the risks that coincide with that. Right throughout this trip, you pass through many Indian Army bases, and the military might in this region is very strong, and for that matter, as a rider travelling through as a tourist, you feel very safe indeed. Heading up this pass, there is about 60 switchbacks and hairpin turns going left and right. So what we're doing is heading straight up the hill, as you can see, crossing the road right now, up until the next road, and at the very top you can just see two bikes that have gone back onto the road to do the hairpin turns. Not long after the song and dance, we reached Katsangla, which is 17,851 feet. Now this is only a few feet short of Kardungla, which we saw a couple of episodes ago. Also, we spotted in the distance K2, which is the second highest mountain peak in the world, and it was absolutely phenomenal to see that with my own two eyes. And just like that, it was lunchtime. This little restaurant here on the left-hand side housed us for an hour and a bit while we rested our legs, rested our bodies, rehydrated, and had a bite to eat as well. And just when you were having a ball running down these beautiful, extensive dirt roads, the Himalayas throws a challenge at you.
Well done.
What a place to have a wee. Look at that view. Well, we got all the bikes through. It was hitting the dirt again, rushing to our next destination so we could have a decent dinner and a good night's sleep. Nearing the end of another long day, I was absolutely exhausted on this particular afternoon, so I didn't get much footage of the hotel, but I did get my room, my bathroom, and a couple of views out the window. It was a lovely place to stay, but it was time to eat and time to sleep. Well, good morning everyone. It was another long day yesterday, and when we got here to this hotel, we just crashed. Everyone was absolutely exhausted. 2 more days of the trip to go, and I think they're both big days as well, but it's nice to wake up to that view, although we didn't get to see much of it, but it's absolutely beautiful. Alright, we've only been going for about 10 minutes, but really deep, loose sand. I hate that stuff. Anyway, have a look at this place, absolutely beautiful. How stunning is that lake? Well, it was time to head back through the village again and get out onto the open dirt road alongside of the lake and then back towards our next destination. Now, it was only a little while down the road where a couple of our participants decided they wanted to head back to Leh. They were buggered, they'd had enough. So our road captain and 2 of the boys headed back to Leh, but we continued on to our next destination. Alright, we've pulled up on the side of the road at a place called Sukar Lake, which roughly translates to a salty lake, I believe. So I'm going to spin you around and do a bit of a zoom in so you can have a look. There you go. All the white crusty stuff, that's all salt. And apparently we're really lucky to see the water in it, because normally there's no water, it's just salt. So yeah, the blue The blue contrast with the white and the mountains behind looks very cool. The changing landscapes on this trip were simply incredible. Literally every hour or so you're in a completely different environment, from desert to glaciers to altitude, and now overlooking this epic canyon here. And down into the valley, you can't really see them, but there were thousands of sheep down on the riverbed just there. We have only just had lunch, but we do have to hit the road. It's at least 5 hours to get to tonight's accommodation, and the rest of today is very challenging indeed. There's no doubt that that was one of the most frightening experiences on this trip, passing that truck right on the edge of the cliff. I'm scared of heights. It happened a few times, I must say. A lot of them weren't captured on video, but that was a puckering moment for sure. It's getting late in the day now, and as you can see, we've hit some beautiful tarmac road, and I was so grateful. I'd had enough of dirt. I was hoping that this road would take us all the way into our accommodation tonight. But I might have been wrong. it's just on dark and we've arrived at our, well, this is actually the last night on the trip before we head back to Leh. So we're in this this tent city. I'll turn you around and show you what I can see. Whole range of tents around here. And that's me right there. So we woke to a very wet and very cold morning in this location. It was decided by the team that we'd actually pack up our bags early, hit the road and try and beat the rain back into the mountains. It worked for a little while, but then we copped a lot more rain as well. So it was a challenging trip until we got back onto dry road.
This is not included in the price, okay? This is extra.
It was time for one more pass on our last day. As you can see, we were back up to 17,000 feet. By this time, we were quite comfortable at this altitude. All of us had adapted very well. I have to admit, I was pretty happy to see civilization and to see a road sign that said Leh was in the distance. Surprisingly enough, it took us a long time to get there, but it wasn't far around the corner. For me, it was actually great to be back at the Oasis Villa in Leh. Not only that, but it was great to see the gents that had departed us 2 days earlier as well. Good to see that they were in good health and they were happy, and we were all back in one piece. What an epic adventure.
Well done, mate.
Yes.
Your dream.
For me, this was an incredible journey with incredible men. I'm forever grateful for Roaming Horizons for taking me along on this journey so I could record it so you, my audience, could watch it. Not only that, but Roaming Horizons have assembled the best of the best when it comes to local support in India. The local team in Leh that took us from A to B safely every single day were absolutely exceptional, and I can't rate them high enough. And I wanted to make a special mention for two gentlemen on the trip, Raoul at 70 years old and Martin at 75 years old. These two gentlemen remind us that it doesn't matter our age, adventure should be a part of our life at all times.
What's it like,
And for me, those two men are an absolute inspiration. Now don't forget, if you'd like to experience the Himalayan motorcycle journey like I have in this series, be sure to contact roaminghorizons.com.au, tell them that Rob from Throttle Down Under sent you, and book your next trip to the Himalayas with them. Now, before I go, I want to leave you with one more thing. Harsha, you agreed to this. Will you sign over to read your houses to me?